All right, my friends, we're back. And so, where I had left off, they had just defeated the encounter. The area north of this section up here has been blocked off by the falling rock trap, so prohibiting anything from getting in or out. And they had defeated the goblins that were over here in this area. And as a result of that, all exhausted from the fighting and the physical exertion of getting through this, they pretty much collapsed and physically just exhausted. And with that, I'm going to start the day new, and there's going to be many questions that have to be answered for the fact that I did put in this other aspect to it. Now we have the gods intervened. The cleric is called upon the god. The prayer was answered. And as a result of that, was the goblin thrown into the acid pit down here? Was that enough? Was that enough to replace the place in line, if you will, for the sorcerer that was meant to go out of the world that day and change the weaves of fate, if you will? So let's get that started underway. Let's get that rolling and see how that turns out. Okay, so Brent Skull Splitter, the sorcerer, he has regained, he was at 1 hit point, and through the D4 that they are going to get for the rest, the healing which he received, he brought him up to 14 hit points. So he is conscious and waking up, coming to, trying to figure out what the hell had just happened. Elena DeRue, she's going to receive 1d6 HP for the rest. Let's see what she got. 4. So that should bring her up to full health, 26 HP. And then, of course, we have Lagan Court. He is full health, 29 to 29. So he is at full health, full strength, everything. So now it's a new day. First things first, let's get that percentage die rolled. Let's see on the calendar if we have any anything to really be concerned about. And get my dice sorted here for a moment. Okay, 52. I'm rolling on Years of Pain, D100. That's no. So they're not going to have anything, any bad biblical events falling upon them today. So with that out of the way, the next thing I have to answer, the next question I have to get to, the unknown, which I'm going to go to the oracle for that. And I'm going to be using this oracle right here, my general oracle. And I'm going to roll a 20-sider on this. And the question I want answered is the basilisk, is it appeased by the goblin it has been given? I rolled an 8. A 6 through 10 is no, so it is not appeased. But with this oracle, there is always a, how do you put this? An angle to it. Another complication it's going to add into. So it says no, but. So let's see what right here on this chart, which you can see rolled in here, no but. The but is related to, and here's the complication. Let's see what the complication is. 5. The failure of a piece of gear, either for the hero or an NPC. Hmm. So how could I relate that in and use that? So I think the way I want to take this is the basilisk perceives the trap, because the trap was already in place, what was going on, and it was kind of a cheap trade-off, if you will. They did something monumental for the sorcerer to save him, but in place, well, let's face it, chances are the goblin was probably gonna get killed in the trap anyway, so it wasn't that substantial of a sacrifice, if you will. So at this point, the god is going to request something more. And I'm going to go back to this chart before I head on with right here, the basilisk demands of a d20. So let's see what the basilisk demands now. 14. Joy's lampoon written in blood. So something written in blood. I have to think about that. What could I possibly put in place that would make an interesting plot twist for this? What could I use? I'm going to go to some of my random tables. I'm going to see what I can find to use in place of this. Let's just see here. Let's see what we can find in the Tome of Adventure Design. And it has a great section on it called The Villain's Plan. And that's where I'm going to see if I can find something interesting out of here that I can add into the story to give them, add a little bit more depth into this rather than just being an object. Taking a little bit further, seeing if I can expand this out, make it more of an interesting story. So, Master Table of Villain's Plan. Let's roll my percentile dice. 55. Okay. Well, don't really like that. Food just doesn't really, yeah, come on. Give me something more than that. 26. Okay, this could be more interesting and could really destroy a community. The villain is trying to kill, economically destroy, or otherwise irreparably damage a particular community, possibly a sub-community or organization. He could have various motives ranging from annoyance to following the orders of a greater villain. Okay, I like that. Let's go with that. Let's go to destroy the community, and on that page, and see what it has to offer. 13. Attack. The villain has had enough military resources to attack and destroy the community, possibly missing just one key factor. Okay, so we could try to attack this, but we only got 3 of us. I don't know how well that's going to work out. Let's see if we can find another one on this page. 19. Eviction. I don't know. That's not kind of fitting into what I want. I'm looking at all these other really cool ones on here that I keep rolling the same. 19. Oh, this would fit in though. So the villain is illegally evicting members of the community by using his influence with the legal system. Influence with rulers, false facts, framed evidence of crimes, diverting taxes from reaching tax collectors, etc. This is the evil landlord type of villain who makes an appearance in many of the Brothers Grimm's fairy tales. Okay, so they're giving you an example how they would use that. But this is going to fit in very well, considering they're trying to make their way back to the village anyways. They're going to have to get some more supplies, things like that. I can tie the village and make it into a scenario all unto itself. And we're going to be going after a public figure. Perhaps the pact written in blood, the eviction that they call, we have to take out this mayor of this village, maybe a constable, something like that. I don't know yet, but we're going to find out as soon as we get closer to the village. Okay, first things first. So I'm going to have Lagan Court. He's going to do, and I think I brought this up in the last video, they found a way to get out of this area. They found a passageway that had led out, and where it is currently leading them on my little map right here, were these two little mountain things. This is where they currently are at. They can't go back out this way or that way. It's blocked. So they only have one option, and that's to go to these forested areas. So this is the decision with my map I'm going to have to make. And the more I thought about it, I think to speed things up, I'm going to say 4 squares equal 1 day worth of travel, 1 day worth of activity. So it would take me at least 1 full day to get through the forested area here, back out to the road and back to the village, which I think that's what I'm going to do and how I'm going to roll that out. So Lagan Court, he's looking around this area. I'm going to roll my presence, and I get a +2 to that. I want to see how well he does. 4. Okay, so he blatantly just walks past it several times, looking in these rocky outcropping areas. I'm gonna say he's kind of off over in this direction here, looking around for clues. This point, Brent Skull Splitter is awake. He's still very weak and hurting from his injuries, but he's on his feet and mobile. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reactivate the ruin on his staff. Now I got to roll a 12. Difficulty class is 12 for his magic. And I can add my presence into that, which is a +2. And let's see how this rolls out for him. 2. No, he did very poorly. He tried to cast the spell. Unfortunately, he doesn't have all of his strength back yet, and he just feels like his head is just pounding miserably, and he just does not have the strength for it. So he is going to be unable to do that. That's going to make things a little bit more interesting, which now it's going to leave it up to my cleric right here, who's going to be Elena Doru, and she's going to venture down here into this area and see if she's able to discover anything useful. Now she's got a +3 to her presence. Let's see. 15. Okay, that definitely, she finds a pretty well hidden area. But once she discovers it, it's pretty easy to see that's going to lead out of this area and further out into the woodland forested areas, I guess I'll say, surrounding this. Just put that light there. So she calls in the cavalry, calls everybody over, and they all converge here. And at this point, what I'm going to do before I go any further is I'm going to cross off one ration and one water ration from their supplies for the day, because those are dwindling as well. Okay. So now it's early morning. They are, I'm going to say it's right around, just right at dawn, first light. And she's going to start to climb this area out into here. First things first, I want to see, are there any encounters in this area? Let's see what the probability of that's going to be. Huh, 72%. Yeah, there's some encounters in that area. Let's see what we're encountering here. 13%. Goblin idiots. There's a possibility to be up to 1d8 of them. Huh, 6 of them. Great. So, to figure out how I want to do this I'm just going to set those. I'm going to move this all over here. I'm going to say they are currently here. I can get rid of this tile now. And then beyond the rocky outcropping here, this is going to open up into the first square of where the forested areas are. So first thing I'm going to do, I know there's an encounter. I know there's going to be 6 goblin idiots in this area. And I want to see how heavily forested these are going to be. So I'm going to roll a 1d6 on a 1 through 3. It's going to be very heavily forested. On a 5 through 6, it'll be lightly forested. So let's see how. That's going to be lightly forested. This will be lightly forested. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. So okay. So Elena Deru has found the path, and she begins to ascend the path, and I'm going to give her a chance to see, like a spot check, if you will, listen check, however you want to refer to that. I'm just going to say a presence check. She's going to use all her senses to see if she sees, hears, smells anything, so on and so forth. Now her presence, she's got a +3 bonus to that. And let's see how she does. She rolls a 15. The DC is a 12. So with her bonus, it's an 18. So she's done very well. So as she ascends up the path, she can hear that they're not alone. Now I want to add a little bit more into this. So let's see what their reactions are, what they are currently, noises they are making, and why. 7. They're indifferent. So they're pretty much chattering, talking amongst themselves, unaware of that they're actually coming into the picture, that they're getting ready to descend upon them. Okay, so Elena is ascending out of this valley right here, if you will, going back out into the forested area. She hears the sound of goblin chatter out into the forest. It's first light, so the sun hasn't actually really come up yet, and they're still into the shadowed areas where they're going to work quite comfortably in those conditions. So I think what I'm going to do is have Elena motion over to Lagging Court, like, come on up here. So Lagging Court's going to join up with her. She's going to explain the situation to him, followed by the sorcerer moving, very broken up, beaten up, very sore and miserable today with a pounding headache. And Lagging Court, I'm going to have him move up onto the edge right here and use his bow and see how many of these I can really take out. So first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to roll an agility save to see if I'm able to get into place and not be detected. So I get a +2 to my bonus. My target for that's going to be a 12 DC. So let's see what I get. No. So as Lygan's moving in to spot, he knocks some of the loose rubble down that falls down below into this area, alerting the goblin idiots to his presence. Now, let's see who's going to go first and how this is going to play out and if we're even going to survive it. Oh boy. Okay. So let's see who goes first. On a D6, 1 through 3 will be the enemies, 4 through 6 will be the PCs. Well, it's going to be the enemies. Okay, they are aware of their presence here. They can see Lagging Court quite clearly, and they don't look too happy to see him. They begin moving forward, scaling the rocky outcropping to get to the invader in their area. I'm going to say he's the closest. He's able to climb up to there, as well as him. I'm going to put him right there. He's climbing up the side, and the rest of them are going to start moving in. Like so. All right. So he's going to be faced with 2 attacks, and let's see how he fares this. So let's get out that 20-sider for the goblins. So he's going to have to beat Lagging Court's defense rating of a 15. First attack is a 12. Nope. Second attack from this guy. 7. Ooh, that's good. That's real good. Okay, now it's the PC's turn. Fortunately, he has his bow out, so there's not a whole lot he's going to be able to do. His short sword has been broken, which leaves him with his two-handed sword, but that's going to take his turn to be able to swap these out. I think what I'm going to try is something different. I got my bow in hand. I think I'm just going to see if I can just one broad swoop, see if I can kick at least one of these, or I should say push one of them off the cliff back down into the forested area. So let's see how this is going to work out for him. He's going to get a +3 to this roll. The goblin's defense rating is a 14. Yeah, a 7 does not do it. He goes to swing the bow towards him, holding it with both hands like this to push him off. The goblin is able to evade the attack, dodging him, moving him like so, opening, giving the goblin basically an advantage over him because he was able to get out of his way and dodge the attack. But now we have Elena. Let's see what Elena's going to do and what the sorcerer can possibly have to offer, considering he's still not 100% back on his feet, healed. So Elena has her crook. I think she's just going to come into picture right here and clobber this one. Boom, 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 boom. So she's going to get a +1 because she doesn't really have that high of a strength to her attack roll, but let's see how this goes. She's got to have a 14 or better. Ooh, she rolled a 19. That does work. We're going to move straight to damage, which is 2d4 +1. Okay, 2 + 1 is 3. They have HP of 6, so she wounds them, but she doesn't get rid of them. So I'm going to put my marker on that goblin. He's got 3 HP left. He will go right there. The goblin will go on top. Boom. Wham! Okay. Now it is left up to the sorcerer, Brent Skull Splitter. Let me see. He still has his staff that he can do potentially 7 points of damage, enough to kill one of them. He's just not going to have the effect of the lightning with it. So, nevertheless, he's going to move up here, and he's going to swing his staff at that goblin. He does get a +3 to his strength, which is pretty impressive. Better than a cleric. Ugh, a 5. No, that goblin's pretty nimble. He's able to dodge that attack as well. I'm going to move him back towards this area like that. All right, let's roll that d6 again and see who goes first, goblins or PCs. 4, the PCs. That's always good. That's always good. Rules in our favor. Okay. I'm going to pick up, I'm on Elena first. She's already engaged in combat with this one. She's done some damage to it. I'm going to see if she can strike him again, take him right out. So she gets +3 for her strength for this roll. 3. Oh, Jesus, 6. No, she does not do well whatsoever. Completely missing the goblin. And now it's going to move on to Ligand Court. He still has his bow equipped. And unfortunately, the plan was to sneak up and start sniping these things off down there, but it doesn't look like that's going to work for him. So I guess I'm going to try, I'm thinking at this point, there's no point in having the bow. He's not currently engaged, but if I don't do something, then that potentially leaves a window of opportunity for him to do damage to the sorcerer, and this may be counterproductive. So what do I do here? Should I take the turn to put the bow away to draw out the two-handed sword, or should I just try to throw the goblin off the cliff? But even if I succeed at doing that, I still have them that are getting ready to ascend the cliff and get back to where my PCs are. And so it's, what do you do? Damned if you do and damned if you don't. So I think in this instance, I'm going to use my turn. I'm going to do the most logical thing, which is going to be to put the bow away and draw out the two-handed sword. So that will be his turn. And now it's going to move to the sorcerer, who is going to try one more time taking out this nimble little goblin and getting rid of him for good. And he's got a +3 to his roll. A 16. He does connect. So he's going to do 1d4 +3 damage. Come here. We weren't even in the... 3 is 6. That's more than enough. He comes through with the staff and just cracks right upside the head, just completely annihilating this thing. So he's off. I'm going to set him over there for the corpse plundering when this encounter is over. And now it goes back to the goblins. So first of the batting order will be this goblin. He's already engaged with battle with Elena. He's going to take his turn and see if he can hit Elena. Elena has a defense rating of 14. He rolls a 17. That's not good. It's not good at all. Okay, and of course they do carry a club that does 1d6 damage. 4. Well, her armor's gonna subtract 2, so she's gonna take 2 points of damage. Not a way to start out your day. Okay. Now, this space is going to be, these spaces are going to be occupied, particularly that one. He's switching out his weapon. So I'm going to allow them, I'm going to say they, for this move, they're able to pull themselves up here, and I'm going to say 1 here. Move these guys forward. Boom, 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 boom. Set him back up there. So these guys are going to be scaling the cliff. They're coming up behind them. They just reached the top of the cliff. They're pulling themselves up, and that's going to be their turn. Let's roll the d6 and see who goes first. A 5. It'll be the PCs again. Thank God. Okay. I'm going to start with Elena and work around this way. So Elena's going to go first. She's engaged in combat with that goblin. She just took a wound from him. And let's see if she can finally finish him off this time. 10. Nowhere even close. Nowhere even close, man. That's just very disappointing. Lagging Court, I'm going to have him just target that one right there. It only makes sense. It's right there. It's right in the striking range. Let's do it. Let's get it out of the way. Now he's going to get a +3 to his roll. 10, 13. Close, but no cigar. 1 point below hitting the defense rating of the goblin. The goblin narrowly escapes the attack, but does escape unscathed. Now, over to the sorcerer. The sorcerer is going to swing the staff at this goblin that has just climbed up the side of this cliff. Rolls a 2, and he doesn't do any better. The goblin's able to do a quick dodge over to that area, and Now it's the goblin's turn. All right. First things first, let's start with these. These two are actively engaged in combat. They've drawn blood from one another. They're in a blood feud. A 19. Holy crap. Holy crap. All right. Ooh, a 5. So she's going to take 3 more points of damage. She is just really getting beat up over here. All right. Now, this goblin is going to attack Lygan Court. A 9, that is a miss. And then, of course, this guy is going to attack my sorcerer. An 18, he does, yeah, that definitely hits. Does 4 points. Now, Brent Skull Splitter, he does have a leather armor covering that reduces 2 of the damage, so he's going to take 2 points of hit points, hit health, however you want to look at that. And that's going to reduce him down to 12. He is just, this is not looking good. I should have never made this turn down this way, but oh well, it is what it is. Not much we can do about that now. Take another sip of coffee, take a breath, artichoke, and get in there and annihilate these things. Okay. So now, these goblins have taken their attack turn. It's at this point, these guys would had of climb the cliff face. They are now going to be up here. I'm going to put one here. And I'll see if I can squeeze one in back there, like so. There we go. Oh boy, we're all one big happy family, aren't we? All right, let's roll a d6 to see who goes first. A 5. The PCs, thank God. Okay, Elena, you got to pull this off. You got to do it. You got to put that thing out of its misery. Let's see what you can do. A 19. Excellent, excellent. She's going to roll 2d4 plus 1. Let's see how much. Hopefully we can just take this thing out altogether. 3 plus 4, it's more than enough. She swings the crook and bam, crushes this thing's skull as it goes off the side of the cliff that way. And I'll put that over here. My count. So when I do my corpse plundering, we can see what they have. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. All right. Lygan Court, he's going to engage that goblin right there. Hopefully this goes excellent. Gets a +3 to that roll. Oh man, a 3. No, he's just doing absolutely horrible. And then the sorcerer, he is engaged with this goblin that has just so attacked him. Not even aware of this guy that has just recently climbed up the cliff face. And he's gonna get he has a +3, which will give him a 13, which is close but no scar, not enough to hit the goblin. So unfortunately, the goblin is able to dodge the attack once again. Now, it goes over to the goblin's turn. And we have some reinforcements in here. This guy is going to step up and attack Elena. Rolls an 8. Nope. Close, but not even close. This guy that's engaged with Lygan Court in battle. Let's see how he's going to fare. He does horrible. This goblin that is engaged in combat with the sorcerer. Horrible. 4. Thank God. Now, this guy is going to be the uncertain. Is he going to go after Lygan Court or the sorcerer? So, he's closer to this one. So the probability is higher he will go to this one. So I'm going to roll a 1d6 to resolve this. On a 4 through a 6, he's going to attack Lagan Court. And a 1 through 3, he's going to go after the sorcerer. 1 through 3. Oh, he's going to target the sorcerer. Okay. So he steps up that way, swinging the club at the sorcerer. And he gets a 17. Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? We're just going to go straight to damage at that point. 2. Well, that's good. Well, he doesn't injure Brent Skull Splitter, but well, he now realizes he's quickly outnumbered 2 to 1. Okay. Let's roll that d6 again. And let's see who's going to go first in this round. Of course the goblins are. They're on a roll. They are on a roll tonight. Okay. I'm just going to start this way and work my way around this guy against Elena. Let's see what he gets. An 8. No. Her defense rating is a 14. If I remember correctly. Yep. Okay. The attack against Lagan Court. Let's see. A 5. No. Brent Skull Splitter is going to have 2 attacks on him. First attack is a 10. No, thank God. Second attack is a 4. No, thank God. So, luckily, we didn't pick up any more hit point losses that go around. But now, it goes back over to my PCs, and Elena is going to swing at this one. Hopefully this works out well. A 20. Ooh, a 20. So, on a critical, times 2 damage to enemy armor reduced 1 tier. Okay, so the enemy has natural armor. So to reduce that's going to take him down to a defense rating 12. But considering I'm using the crook and I'm going to do 2 times the damage, I'm just going to roll my 2d4. Let's see what our final result is. Okay, so we got 2, 4, 2 times, 2, 4. So you're going to do 4 plus 1 point for the strength bonus. That's going to be 5. So we're going to do 5 points of damage to the goblin. This goblin has just got a severely grievous wound. He's been messed up, reduced to 1 HP. And boom. Now, suffering a wound like that to take you to 1 HP and 1 attack, I want to see if by rolling a save, if he's going to be able to get back up after this and fight, or if his morale, he's just going to realize it's time to split and run. So their morale is a 7. And I'm going to roll 2d6, and I'm going to see where his morale is. He's going to roll an 8. He's pretty determined to fight, so even though he's extremely wounded, pulls himself to his feet, taking a fresh grip on the club and getting ready to hand out some retribution to Elena. Okay. Second attack will be Lagan Court on this guy right here. 9, 10, 11, 12. Nope, you're going to need a 14. That is a definite miss. Okay, now, you can only pick one of them. Which one can you do? I guess I'm going to go after this guy, since he's the original person he was engaged in combat with, even though he's got a new friend. You got to start somewhere. Oh, 3. No. He doesn't do anything. No. Okay. All right. Let's roll the d6 and see who's going to start this round off. The PCs. Thank God. Thank God. Okay. So Elena is going to sees the damage that the goblin took, gets back to its feet, determined, and she is determined to finish this thing off. 8, 9. No, she does not. She swings wildly, and it does not manage to connect to do any damage whatsoever. And so, yeah, this isn't good. Lygan Court, come on, man. You can pull this off. You can pull this off. Come on. Gets a +3 to that roll. A 19. Nope, 15. I'm sorry. Which will bring it up to 18. Which will be more than enough. Let's move to damage. The damage of the sword he is using is a 1d10 +3. He just decapitates the thing. He's just... The goblin's luck has ran out. He's no longer nimble on his feet like he once was. Boom. Now with the goblin out of the way, he can reposition himself for his next target. All right. Last but not least, the sorcerer. And the sorcerer is just... he's trying to survive here. So he swung at him last turn. I'm going to take a swing at him. A 20. Ooh, he does a critical. Okay, so this is good. This is very good. So he's going to do 1d4 times 2. So that's going to be 4 plus a strength, 5, 6, 7. Has a total of 7 points. He swings the staff as it comes down, just crushing the freaking goblin skull. Gone. All right, now there is one goblin left. Let me roll a morale to see what this thing does. They got a morale of 7. Rolls a 9. This thing's determined. I don't even think it's aware that its comrades have fallen. It's just going to go straight back to attacking the sorcerer. And... an 11. No. All right. Well, that ends that round out. Let's roll a d6 to see who goes first this next round. 6 will be the PCs. Oh, I forgot one. Before we start the PCs next round, I forgot him. So he's going to take his attack on Elena right now. A 6. No. Okay. Now the PCs start. It'll go back to Elena. And a 3. No, that's not going to work. Lygan Court, he's going to move into this area to go after that goblin. Let's see how this works out. Ooh, a 13. Plus the strength. Yeah, that's going to be a 16. He's going to decimate this thing. A 10 plus a 3 is a 13. Yeah, he just cleaves this thing in half. Just... boom. He's out of the game. All right. Now, that'll leave Skull Splitter the opportunity to reposition himself and offer help to Elena right here. All right. Come on, let's see if we can get another critical. Close. An 18. So he's going to roll his normal damage. 1d4. 1 plus 3 is 4. He's doing 4 points of damage. This little goblin's only got 1 left. He's just blindsided and just... pow! This staff right up the backside of his head, just crushing his skull. Okay. Now comes to my favorite part, which is the corpse plundering. I got 6 different 6 different little goblins to go through and see what we find. All right, let's roll our D66. And of course, this one being my 10s, that one being my 1s. First one, 41. What do I get? A map to a place that cannot possibly exist. Okay, well, I can pencil that in the treasure. And I'm going to say this time around, Court is looking over the corpses, seeing if he can find anything. Right here, I'm going to write down map with a question mark because we don't know what it is yet. That's one down. Next one. 13. 11 through 16. The remains of something worthless crumbles in your hands. So that's nothing. Find nothing. Third one. 61. 61 through 66. The result in silver. So this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to roll the 2d6, add those up, 2. So I find 2 silver pieces. Okay, well, it's nothing to snuff at, but at least it's something. And I'm going to increase my silver on him. 21. There we go. Hey, at least it's something. Next one, let's see what we get. 21. Pot filled with extremely potent itching ointment. So I'm going to put, boom, I'm going to put vial of unknown substance. Question mark in the parentheses, I'm going to put itching green. Okay, because they're going to have to get all this stuff appraised to be able to figure out what's what anyways. Okay, so next, got 2 more left. Getting some good stuff here. 12, that's more of nothing. And last but not least, 66, that's just more silver. Cool, this has been a cool little haul. And it'll be 6 more silver to add. All right. That end of that is done. Hopefully there are no more of these horrible goblin beasts left. No, they're going to continue out into the forested areas. They're going to climb down the cliff. And I'm going to do a save for all of them to make sure that they actually do make it down safely and they do not fall. If they fall, I'm going to say they take 1d6 falling damage as a result. But let's go with Elena first. Her agility gives her a +2 to her roll. I'm going to say the target number is going to be a 12, a 20. She scales it just perfectly, makes it down to the forest floor. The next one is going to be Brent's Skull Splitter. He gets a +3 to his agility. As he goes over the edge, loses his footing, and just falls straight down. Because he rolled a 1. That is a fail. Bam! Hitting the ground, doing 1d6 more damage. He's going to take another point HP of damage. Oh my god. All right. Okay, next one will be Court. Same thing. Let's see what he does. He gets a +2 to his agility, a 15, so he's able to safely make his way down to the forest floor as well. And I think that's where I'm going to round out this one, and we're going to pick up onto the forest areas and what's out there next in the next video. But for this one, I hope you enjoyed. We made it out of the area of the map I have penciled in here, and we have now entered this first square right here, and we'll see how that next day will progress and take us. All right, my friends, hope you're enjoying these, and there's more to come. This is Artichoke Dip, signing off.